Let's talk about gaming in your late 20s and the hard truth. Your late 20s is most likely post college, or if you didn't go to school, it's just the second half of your 20s. And it seems like at this point, everyone's at a crossroad of all these options of what they get to choose to do now with their time and their money and their energy. If you grew up playing games, gaming could have been everything. You went to school, you got home, you did your homework, you ate dinner, and then you took a nap, you ate a hot pocket, watched some TV, and then once everyone was done with homework, you guys were all hopping on the games. And for us, for our generation, for anyone who's over 25 at this point, is that when we grew up, we didn't really have cell phones, or we didn't need it. We knew that the boys, the girls, whoever, the homies, they were going to hop on probably around an hour and a half after school ended because of the bus rides home or whatever, or after sports, other curricular activities. You just knew that if you were hopping on after school between a certain time, let's say 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., you're about to have a good time. You're about to create some core childhood memories that would never be the same, that you were truly in the good old times without realizing you were in it. I believe that, after our frontal lobe develops at 25, we start feeling that nostalgia of like, damn, I had it good. And I would go back to those simpler times. And maybe those times were not actually that simple because they were 10, 15 years ago at this point. But all that we can remember is that, you can't remember the temperature of the room that you felt or how your stomach hurt and you had to go poop every hour because you ate something bad. You just remember the good times that you had fun with those people you played games with. Maybe you knew them from school. Maybe you knew them because you just met them online. It didn't matter. You're just having a good time. You're using your free time, having a good time. And if you enjoyed your wasted time, then it wasn't a waste of time. Growing up, you kind of go through different friend groups sometimes, and these different friend groups either like the same games you used to play or they don't and they know nothing of it. Or you're creating these new memories, and sometimes you can miss the old memories that you made, but you should also enjoy the new memories you're making now and be grateful that it's even happening and that you have people to make these memories with in these games. I know I'm kind of being cheesy about the memory thing, but it's just like this channel is about cherishing simply gaming, that it doesn't have to be that deep, it doesn't have to be that serious, but it also doesn't have to be that simple. You can choose to feel however you want to feel about it. You can choose to make meaning out of it, however ways and whatever levels you want to make out of it. Like, oh, it's just gaming. I had a good time. Cool. That's great. And it's just like the simple things in life are cool. With a different friend group, you try to feel the same way you used to feel with your old friend groups, and it just doesn't exist, and that's fine. And you should truly just enjoy that you have these people who are interested in the same games and want to play the same games as you, and they're gonna feel the same way. You're that person to them. So appreciate the friends that you have that you get to play with, even if they come and go, because at least you get to enjoy that game in its era, in its peak, in its moment of shining. Some games, they come out in the first few months, amazing. Example, Call of Duty. Not every Call of Duty is good, but if you just want to play some multiplayer, some zombies, whatever, it's fun for like 1 month. Xbox Game Pass, try it out, whatever. And that's fine. And it dies out, whatever. You enjoy that game to the extent that it was meant to be lived, and that's it. Unless you're a diehard fan and you just love the game so much, maybe you'll keep playing it for a year. And then there's games where they come out and they're not good till like a year later after they patched everything, all these updates, all the DLCs and stuff. And then you go back in it and you're playing and it's a grand time. And that's fine too. There's a thing about work-life balance in our 20s for gaming. I would say most because we have to survive, to get things that we need and want in our lives. is that we most likely have a full-time job, even a part-time job, just having a job in general. Like, yes, school was structured and you start and end at the same time, like a job. Jobs are nice because you don't have homework for some of them. You don't go home and gotta work some more. I mean, depends on the job you have, but yeah. But the thing is, school was structure. Jobs, they can be, but you come home and I feel like the responsibilities are just so much different now. You're having to clean, cook, just take care of yourself even more so than you ever had, other than just eating and sleeping and staying hydrated and doing your homework. It's all these other things now. And I'm sure you know them without me having to even list them out. Is that you come home from work and you're like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And that's the reality. There are things we have to do, and some have to do more than others. And yes, you may have the choice to do this or do that, but survival, necessities, wants, these all come into play. And yes, we might want to play games, we might feel the need to play games, but there's so many other things in our lives that come that we have to be present for. Unless like this video isn't for people who are not struggling with this. Like if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I just go to work and I come home and I get to play games all day and I'm chilling. I ain't gotta do nothing. Someone else does all the other things, chores, laundry, or I do it once a week and everything's fine. Then good for you. And I love that for you. And honestly, on that topic, I want to talk about quickly what success means and what it looks like. And to keep it brief, is straight up just that you feel like you're doing what you want to be doing in your life. Not everyone's meant to lead or create or do things extravagant or be ambitious. Like that's not what life is all about. There's everyone's different, and I believe that you can be all those things and enjoy your life, or you could be none of those things and enjoy your life. And to me, that's success, is that you're truly doing what you want to do in your life. You want chill life, then you create chill life. If you want a busy, productive life, then you create that. We're privileged. If you're watching this, if you're able to play games, if you have a phone, if you have a job, if you have a home, you have some sort of privilege, and you have to be mindful of that we all have the power and the choice to choose what we want to do and work towards what we want to get. Let's just be real here. Like if you have the time to even watch this video is a privilege that you have, that this is just internet content that you chose to watch and listen to. All right, so let's talk about sleep and work schedule differences. This goes into playing games with friends and the work-life balance. There's a few different shifts. Normally it's first, second, and third. First shift is morning to afternoon. Second shift is starting early afternoon, ending at late nighttime. And third shift is graveyard. And these can affect your timings to schedule and play games with your friends because, there's so many different jobs out there with different types of hours. And let's say that you need 5 people to play this certain competitive game. You might, you can have more than 5 friends, of course, but not all more than 5 of those friends play this game. So you have that, consistent group of 5. But one of them or 2 of them always gets home late because they work second shift, or else the other 3 work first shift. So then that just sucks as a schedule difference. But if you really want to play, and these are the people you want to play with, then there are some sacrifices that you're going to have to make, which is some sleep. And I know that might sound crazy because, everyone loves routine and people love to go to sleep at the same time because you don't want to go to work tired and sleepy the next day. I get that. But it's like if you really want to play this game and there's no other time to play it, then one time a week, one time every 2 weeks, one time a month, maybe twice a week, however much you want, is that you do sacrifice that time. If you want to play it, you do it. What are you going to do? Complain about it? Okay, then when are you going to play this game with your friends? Never. And you're okay with that? Cool. If you're not okay with that, then do something about it. I believe that if you want something, you're going to do it and you're going to figure out how to do it. And if you're going to complain about it, then how are you going to get anything done? You know what I'm saying? All right. So I want to talk about playing more multiplayer games than single player games because any free time spent playing games needs to be with others. I totally get that, especially gaming in our late 20s because we don't have a lot of time these days. You'll play 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe max in a day, in an evening. Maybe you were never a single player gamer, or maybe you were when you're growing up, but you feel that you would rather make these new memories with people in your life. You would, because you have so little time already and you don't see these people already, that you would rather be able to create these memories with them by playing multiplayer games. And that's completely fine. That's real. And that's valid. Our time is limited and crucial. Like I said, you could play an hour a day. Maybe you got a new game and that's fine. You're still contributing. You're still progressing. You're still learning. You're still growing in that game by playing a little bit any chance that you get. Maybe not if you play once a month, but if you play once a week, even for an hour, that's still progress. And if you want and if you can dedicate more hours, then you're going to put aside some time and do that. You have to decide and organize and choose what to do with your time. So if you want to play that game, you're going to have to decide when to do it. And with talking about your friend group, talking about the difference in the sleep and the work schedules that everyone might have, and to tie in with getting a squad together for a certain game, is one last thing I want to talk about, which is not waiting to fill a squad or a crew. If you've experienced having to need 5 total gamers for a game to then play some ranked matches or something, but then you wait 30 minutes, that's fine. But an hour plus, that's when you guys haven't played a real game or a full game of anything yet. You're kind of just warming up, practicing, playing other games on the side. That sucks because you're not getting to fully play the game that you want to play, or it's getting delayed. And time is so crucial, and that delay sucks. So maybe you're okay with it. Maybe you're like, I can wait an hour and stuff. But let's say on the example that 3 people gotta go to sleep in like 2 hours. 2 people are hopping on. One person hops on time. The last person hops on an hour late. Now I only got an hour. Still good that you got to play, but not so great that you didn't use up all the time that you could. And you know that that person can get on earlier. I'm not blaming that person. These things happen all the time. But if this frustrates you, then there has to be a different time or system that you guys have to do or to communicate that over because some people don't understand other people's times. You know, I think by nature, most of us are selfish. We want what's best for us, which is great. You should choose what's best for you. But you should also have people understand the people you spend time with. They should understand, your time and your energy as you would theirs. And so with that, gaming in your late 20s is a lot of waiting, a lot of patience, a lot of doing nothing. And hopefully you find ways where it works out for everyone, where it works out for you especially, that you get to play games on the time that you have and enjoy it to the full extent. To not have to feel like you have to reminisce about the old times and be like, oh, I had so much more time before, or I was able to play all these games before. It's like, if you even get to play games now in your late 20s, that's still a blessing. So appreciate that and keep gaming. That was your reality check, and I'll catch you in the next one.